Hello, hello. Good, good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are. Good morning, wherever you are. So this is Sunday, and the topic of discussion is lessons learned. What kind of future do I want to see? Whether it's in Africa, whether it's elsewhere, what does the future hold for all of us? Good afternoon, Mr. Singh. Uh, this is driving while talking, and the danger is there. The person who is meant to host the show is not yet in the show, so hopefully we'll be joined and get on with the business of the day. But food for thought, I was at a meeting where issues that were raised could be of interest to many, but how best do we bridge ideas with possible opportunities to convert those ideas into practical solutions? Who holds a better monopoly of ideas, and how should the ideas be managed and by whom? We live in the digital age, but the content is still human. There are many of us who are straddling between two civilizations and can never get where they want to get to in terms of transitioning from one to the other. Kwama Simba, hello?
How are you, Mr. Mawere?
Oh, I didn't know you were waiting for me. I thought you were already there.
No, okay. I'm just trying to connect with my guest in Germany. He wants to ask me questions about my book Rebens and C2C. So it's coming soon. Just give me a minute, Mr. Mawere. The
All
person is
right.
new to the system, so I'm trying to assist him. He's new to this StreamYard. His name is, I think he's typing now. Mr. Mawere, is there anyone who sent you a request on the system?
Let's see. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Just a second, I'll check here.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
yes. Anybody now can request? Mr. Mawere?
Yeah.
Yep, any request coming?
No, I don't see anyone.
Okay, maybe let's just give them a minute, or else we'll continue by ourselves. Okay, he's sending me a
No,
message on
not,
WhatsApp. They're saying joining.
yeah, there's somebody here.
Yep, that's good. There's one from Germany. I got connected to him through Rasta, Zimbabwe.
Oh,
So they might be both coming. Yep. Yes, I think the guest is here. Hello, Munongowara. How are you, my brother? And welcome to Bogrebenzi C2C. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, welcome. Yes, welcome to Bogrebenzi, hashtag C2C. And I'm with Mr. Mawere, who is co-hosting because I lost connections before. So I had to ask Mr. Mawere to host the show. Welcome.
Saka mukoma masimba mimi sponsor wenye ndi mtumwa mawere.
Sorry?
Sponsor wenye ndi mtumwa mawere here.
I don't have a sponsor at the moment.
Saka publication ichakwa
Publication for what?
Bukrebenzi.
Okay, my brother. What do you know about book ribbons? Everything starts on what you know. Yep.
Trending on Facebook. Unongonza kuita trending on Facebook. Arina kunyere.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's what you heard. That's good. So after hearing that, what is... Hello, can you please speak up? Okay, Mr. Mawere, can you please mute the phone? Mute your phone, Mr. Mawere. The sound coming from your side, Mr. M. You can just mute. Okay, I'm just asking Mr. Mawere to mute his phone. But the sound is driving, that's why. Okay, that's good. Okay, my brother, let's start. What do you know about book ribbons? You, my brother, what do you know about book ribbons?
Bhuku rebenzi riri kuita kunge bhuku zvatinoona zvichibuda papeji racho zvinoita kuti tikatyamare chose.
Is it okay, my brother, if you try to put English, because there are some guests who are watching and they don't speak English. Is that okay for you to try?
Chirungu chinondinetsa especially zvarodhoka.
No, that's fine. It's okay. Let's go ahead. So my question to you now, okay? Do you know everything
I want
starts on what you know?
to hear
What
a
do you know about
comment.
book readings?
Koma Simba. I want to hear a comment from Mutumwa Mawere. What does he find interesting in that book Rebens? Because Mutumwa Mawere is a respected man in Zimbabwe as a whole. And I don't know what he finds interesting in that book, Reben.
But remember,
If he can
planned this show.
just show us, maybe we can be able to explain to other people.
Okay. Listen, let's be fair here. Number one, you got in touch with Rasta Zimbabwe. Then you said, Rasta Zimbabwe, I want to talk to Mkoma Masimba. Then I said, okay, no problems. Then I approached Mr. Mawere. Why? Because at the moment, I lost access to this app we are using. It's called StreamYard. Mr. Mawere is my mentor. Then you are here now. You are telling me, Mkoma Masimba, I want to talk to Mawere. But I thought this show was for you and me. How about that? You talk to me first, then after, then maybe go to Mr. Mawere. Why jumping the gun? I'm here. I'm the author of the book. Mawere is just a mentor. I mentioned him. I chose him as a mentor. I nominated
so what
him.
I'm asking you, what did Mutumwa Mawere mentor you?
You can see the way I've answered you this question, right? You wanted to talk to Mawere. Then I did no. Remember, we planned this show, right?
Now I'm talking to
Those
you. What mentoring did Mutumwa did?
My answer to you, my brother, if you listen carefully, you pick it up. I learned to be organized. That's number one. That's why this show is for you and me. You want to talk to Mtumwa Mawere because he's here, but I'm telling you, no. At this stage, he only helped me with access to StreamYard. He's like just hosting a show, but the show is for you and me. Then Mtumwa Mawere mentored me a lot to be organized. I've showed you that I'm now organized the way I've welcomed you to the show. Remember, we're talking behind the scenes. Then I said, you guys, I don't have time to talk behind the scenes. Whoever wants to talk to me must come on live. So this is a structure I learned from Mtumwa Mawere to be organized and put structures. So this book is organized and I've got structures in this book. That's what I've learned from Mawere.
It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, so I've learned to be organized, to put orders and structures in whatever I want to do. I have to be organized, order, and structures.
But let me ask you something about book Rebens, because so even kuzobuda kwamaita muchienda kuchipatara wewe, was it still acting?
Book Rebens, there's nothing called acting. I'm writing a book based on a true story, my true story. I went to hospital, that's a fact. I took videos there, fact. So that is not acting, that is real life.
So how about like defecating in public? Was it an act or it was part of the true story?
Did you see that or you heard about it?
It was your video. We didn't shoot there.
Did you watch the video?
It was very disgusting, man.
Okay. So what did you see? Tell me about that video.
Let's get into a person's mind and find out
Hello?
what ways. So what actually inspired you in writing a book, Rebens?
Before I answer to that question, let's finish about that disgusting video. Okay, that video in Book Rebens, there's a fact in this fiction. So that video was fiction. I planned it, I recorded it, then I posted it. I appeared as if I'm doing what you saw. But no. The fact is, I was at the hospital next to the nurse. The nurse is actually the one who helped me to set up the phone. So there's no way I can do poo in public or at the hospital in front of a nurse.
Wow, but your pens were on your knees, bro.
Yes, pens, I dropped them down. That's not in, I'm at hospital. I want to do a video. That video needed me to drop my pens down because I wanted to show you or to trick you to think or to prank you to make you believe I did poo, and you believed it. Not only you, and many other people. But the fact is that video was planned. It was not poo. It was just acting, pranking.
Wow. I can actually see Mutumwa did a very good job in that mentoring you, isn't it?
Well, just like in other mentor, they only do a good job when the student learns and show that I've learned something. So he will tell me if I'm doing a good job, Mutumwa. But at the moment, I'm still learning. I unlearn and learn again. He's listening right now to this conversation. He's going to give his remarks. He's going to rate me out of 10. Go ahead.
I think, Kuntao, you might have some questions, yeah? Kuntao.
Who's Kuntao now? Rasta Zimbabwe. Are you done with your questions, my brother? Because this is your time. I want you to use your time.
Are you there in the show? Yo.
Good afternoon, Mr. Singh. Namaste, South Africa. Greetings from Australia. My name is Simba, Mr. Singh. I'm the author of this book. Yep. That's Mr. Singh watching us here in the comment section. Okay, call up. Do you still have any other questions?
So what are you aiming to get by writing such a book?
I'm just, I'm recovering from my mistakes, right? Remember, I was a drug addict.
Were you a drug addict?
Yes, I was. I lost weight.
What drugs were you doing?
Good question. What drugs were you taking?
Drugs. I won't tell you. I won't tell you.
We need to know.
I just know I was doing drugs. No. That's too much, too personal now. I can only tell you I did drugs. I even showed on the videos. If you could check my other videos, you can see me there taking those drugs.
How do we know if it was a prank again?
Good question. I'm telling you, I was taking drugs. I've got the videos there. That was not a prank. I'm the author. Those videos were live videos, not pre-recorded. Those days, that's when I was living on the streets. So why am I writing the book? I'm sharing my life story. I've planned to recover. I have a goal. I want to go back to normal life. So I'm coming up with a storyline. When I look back on my videos, I'm like, I can see my improvement. Today, as I'm talking to you, I'm now in a hotel. But when I studied those videos, I was on the street. Hopefully someone will learn. For those who want to learn, someone get inspired on how best can you stop addictions. I did my Simba way. I went back on the streets, then I went to hospital, back on the streets, now I'm at the hotel now, waiting for my license.
Am I allowed to ask questions now, Mkoma Masimba?
You can go ahead.
Bla Masimba, has Freeman asked these questions from a medical point of view and finished this part?
Right.
So what I'm doing now, Mkoma Masimba, I understand your side of the story. And it always sounds like it's the truth, right? And it's it's really logical,
What
but
is
how
my side of the
come?
story?
Yes, my side
What
of
is
the
my side of
story,
the story?
which I'm wondering, your side of the story sounds genuine, but you always end up doing the opposite of what you preach. Depending mubvunzo kuti you end up doing the opposite of what you preach. Don't you expect I wrote in Jabo manje tofara? Because people were genuinely concerned and ngambokunyeperai kuti vanofana nokufarira havangakunyeperei kuti zvinhu zvakarurama zvanga zvoitika. Right. Saka as you're on your road to recovery,
Rasta, can you,
are you
Rasta,
able?
I know you speak good English. Can you try English, Rasta?
English. Okay, I'll speak in English.
English.
I said,
Thank you.
are you able to just host your show without accommodating attacks on other people or other people's names, or bringing up a lot of other people's names, just for the fact that people also have families, and kids and thing? I tried to bring you to that reasoning, and you said you're Bukrebenzi. So does it mean Bukrebenzi now supersedes everything else? Like at this particular moment, does it supersede morals? Does it supersede what we call Hunu or Ubuntu? Does the Book of Benzi now supersede religion, politics, everything in this world? Is it like a campaign that Kupenga or madness is the new in thing? Because as it goes, it's an inspiring book. There's some people who shall want to be like Mukoma Masimba. So what are the benefits of this book to the societies was my question. Sorry, it was a long question. What are the benefits of this book to society? Because so far I only see it creating more havoc than anything constructive, personally. Mukoma Masimba, can I please have 10 benefits of Bukrebenzi, please?
Disappear and
Hello?
become invisible like a woolly patite.
Hello?
Mukoma Masimba, what are the benefits
Yes.
of Bukrebenzi for the younger generation and the younger Zimbabwean filmmakers? And for example, that episode when we're joking about defecating, or you were defecating or eating some poo, in other words, what do the kids learn in Australia, the younger generation who arrived to Australia now? What are the morals from Bukrebenzi? Because I'm failing to find out, and I'm the one in the dark here. Like, what could my nephews and nieces learn from Bukrebenzi? Because I would like to refer them.
Mr. Rasta. Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. If you were a creator of life, just assume you are the creator. Who would you want to be in that life?
Right. Creator of life. If I was the creator of life, I would like everyone to be in that life who's currently here in this particular world.
Would you like to have written a script for them?
Of course, everyone has got freedom of choice. But that freedom of choice should not impact the well-being of the rest of the world. Just one person's choice should not impact everyone else living and affect families. That's when moral comes, because there's life, and now we're talking about morals. Life is a good thing, but Mukoma Masimba sometimes is very immoral.
I'm not talking about Mukoma Masimba.
Oh, that's a new topic. Sorry, because I hadn't changed the gears soon enough.
I'm talking about you being a judge and being the one with the ears to listen to other people talk about somebody else.
Yes.
So you have 24 hours just as anyone else has. And if the world is diverse, if the world is what it should be, and what is it that would be my purpose in that life? And I had to use my 24 hours And I was called earlier by Mkwama Simba. So, Rasta, would you want the world to be diverse?
The world must be diverse and is diverse already.
No, but the moment you mix your business with someone else's business, it's no longer diverse.
That's what Mkoma Masimba is doing, is mixing his business with everybody else's business, which has nothing to do with him. So I wish we could lecture him on that regard.
So let's go to that. How does he mix his business with your business?
Right. I get a call at 3 in the morning and I get on the platform and I think we're talking some constructive community things. The next minute, people are flashing out nudes. I've got nephews, I've got nieces, and I've got morals. So his lifestyle and his freedom should not affect my freedom and my lifestyle, because I have morals that I respect and people that look up to me. So that's an example I'm giving you there. No. It became my business because I got dragged into it.
Yeah, no, I'm saying is he is the one who calls you to come to his space. Then after calling you, he's the one who then exposes you to what you don't want to see.
Thank you.
Or to hear. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So that's what I was telling him as well. To say, Mkwama Simba, Bukure Benzi must be written Mutoilet Yeben. That you can't write a book and then you are incorporating others in a book. But you are the script writer, others are just passengers. So that's one thing that we need to be able to talk to Mkwama Simba, that as part of the community building, how do we build a community where there are no shared values?
Well, there are no shared values. Great question. That's very hard. Because someone is assuming to Munwese Benzi, and not everyone is agreeing with Munwese no Penga. So if he thinks that build a community, I not everyone is crazy. Not everyone entertains madness. They might observe and watch from a distance, but not everyone tolerates it. That's what I'm trying to say. You mustn't keep on saying Munwese Benzi and all that, because that's not what everybody feels. Maybe he's delusional. Maybe Bukure Benzi now is taking his toll. We're not trying to really analyze and find deeper if he's still the same person or not, because he might be convincing himself that he's writing a book, but actually the book is writing him, because there's no such thing called Bukure Benzi. When someone goes crazy, if you're writing the Bukure Benzi, then you are saying that Ribenzi. That means you're actually confessing to Ribenzi, because if you're saying Bukure Benzi, you are the character in it, right? You cannot act madness. You can only be mad and then pretend like you're acting. Like Wanopenga Obogzimba, Wanopenga Smart, they pretend to be mad, but they're actually mad as a cover-up. So that's what's going on with Mkwama Masimba. Mkwama Masimba is now literally mad, and we're just entertaining it, making it seem like he's actually acting.
Who is we? You can say, I, as Rasta, I'm entertaining it.
Oh yeah, I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of people that have been calling with concerns of his health.
That's why he's here, so that we can be able, because he's the one who brought us here. But is he? I would like to take
him. I would like to take him to Zimbabwe. From the rumors I heard, he's behaving like someone who's been bewitched, like he's acting like a goblin himself. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't rest. It's impossible. If anyone tried to live the life he's living, you'd probably die from a seizure. You know, if you tried to live the life that Mkwama Masimba is living right now, someone would probably get a heart attack. So how is he managing? That's why I'm saying that this is like a spiritual entity This guy is like he's possessed, or if he's not possessed, I think he's literally gone mad, and we just have to accept it and give him the proper help. The doctors have failed, so let's take him to the Sangomas then. The doctors have literally failed dismally, and this brother is sick. The prophets probably have failed too, and we know this brother is sick from our diagnosis.
Where is he?
He knows that it's true. When he knows it's true, he runs away and he hides, and then he shows up. He's head up again.
I'm saying, is he around or he's not around?
He's around and he's listening and he knows it's true.
No, I'm saying is he around. Can he answer for himself?
I would like him to answer for himself, but he knows it's true. So I hope he will answer this time, because he's been refusing and dodging that question that wakasotwere or not, because I heard some ways that you're going to act in a certain way, and you're acting in that certain way. Like he's fulfilling a prophecy of what somebody said he was going to act. Normal. Like during the day, he's literally mad, and nighttime he becomes normal. And I even mentioned it a few days ago that at nighttime around this time, Mukoma Masimba is 100% normal. But then during the day, he cannot control it. He's literally possessed during the day. But then at nighttime, now when the cold hits now, the demon just wants to leave him at peace to rest. That's when he's normal. But then sometimes it gets back to the stage where he gets bitter. That's actually factual, because I've watched the patterns. And if you think I'm lying, take down some notes and observe him over this week. Observe him over the next 3 days. And then you say that Rasta was lying. He was assuming and he was making up things. Mukoma Masimba is now in a pattern of restlessness, where he's not getting enough rest. And then he's becoming delusional. And then he's insulting people and not remembering that he's insulted people. It's not people that I know, but it's people that come back crying back to me who I don't even know, who have watched the show. And then because I'll be empathetic, I call him and say, Mukoma Masimba, can you just remove that post? Someone is offended. And he'll challenge them to come. So he has to drag everyone to the show for them to be heard. So no one can talk to Masimba anymore unless they come to the show, which is Bukure Benzi. So he thinks he's writing us, which is Ndisuma Penzi and Deji, change era. But it's actually the other way around, where he akupenga. But Mupenga Kwagega, Arupenga is egotistic. Where you think you're in charge, where you say, I'm in charge. Like the demon in him is just saying, I'm in charge. But Masimba is no longer in him anymore. Masimba is gone. There's no longer Masimba if you look in his eyes anymore. His eyes are no longer the color they used to be. They're this red or purple or whatever during the day. Like this guy is gone. He's no longer in there anymore. He is possessed. And I don't know who can help him. I tried to pray for him the other day. I pulled out my Bible. I normally don't even pray like in public, but I even had to pray. I pulled out my Bible. I read the book of Revelations. I remember that day, because I could see that this brother is possessed by something I cannot help. And I'm just appealing to you, Mr. Mawere, if you could help Mukoma Masimba in a way that I cannot help him. Maybe you could speak to him some ways that would make him realize there's an element of madness which is overtaking Bukure Benzi now. Right now. I know when I finish saying this, he's going to think Rasta and Deji Benzi, right? And I already can tell you that's what he's thinking right now. Rasta is talking nonsense. He's making assumptions. I'm in charge. Rasta is just talking nonsense right now. I'm in charge. He doesn't know that I've got it under control. So that's what the spirit lies to him, telling him he's in control. But no way Mukoma Masimba is in control of his life. And Papa, if I'm telling him I want to see the pattern change in a week. If it doesn't change, then you know he's on a roller coaster. He's just going to be on that cycle that was predicted to him by the people he was disrespecting there in Zim. And if he doesn't believe in Mshonga, but Mshonga is working on him, then that's a tough one. Because you spend all life saying that is okay, but it's probably really now messed up and he's not being able to get out of it. It seems like he's becoming okay. He's back again. He's doing more outrageous things than ever before. And instead of maturing, he's getting younger every day mentally, doing more immature stuff. Then he comes later on and talks mature stuff on the platform you are, out of respect. But in your absence, he's now acting like a 6-year-old. Now that you're in the platform, he's acting mature. So it's a Bukure Benzi which is based on a reality show of someone who's mad. It's actually a reality show of someone who's literally mad now, who's no longer putting on an act who's no longer Kevin Hart, who's no longer Denzel Washington. It's no longer a comedy. We literally got a madman holding a phone and ability to charge the phone and access to Wi-Fi and fast internet. But this person is now mentally disturbed and no medical doctor can help him because there's Ramasimba is right? Spiritual stuff. For Beck, he has to go to fix in Zimbabwe. No medicine will help him. No drugs will help him because he's sick spiritually. And because he's sick spiritually, his spiritual sickness.
I want to answer you.
You're manifested in flesh.
My apologies. My apologies. My network is playing up. And I hope you can hear me now, Rasta. Allow me to answer you. Mr. Mawere, I mentioned you in this book, you are my mentor. Say, in my book, the way
don't I the mentor? Can you go ahead with your story? Why are you acting the way you're acting? And don't you mentor? Because you are the one acting.
Does Mr. Mawere accept to be his mentor? Or is just a title you're giving him?
Mr. Mawere, as you can see at this stage, there's communication problem. My friends here, they're not organized. They don't respect me when I'm talking. When they are talking, I'm respecting them. I'm showing you what I've learned from you, Mr. Mawere. One key thing that I always tell you, Mr. Mawere, I was a Zimbabwean. Then I had a big fight with you on that topic. When I was telling you, Mr. Mawere, you were telling me there's nothing called a Zimbabwean. And I said to you, Mr. Mawere, I am a Zimbabwean and I'm fighting for Zimbabweans. Along the way, then I discovered there's nothing called a Zimbabwean. That's the day when my mother cried. I called you, Mr. Mawere, crying, clueless, saying, say, now I've learned. You were correct. There's nothing called a Zimbabwean. With what I've learned, say, I want to show you what is a Zimbabwean and what is not a Zimbabwean. In this book, you are already picking up. Rasta is coming up with his facts. Masimba is sick. After saying that, he contradicts himself again. Masimba sometimes he does very good videos. Right? Contradiction now. Then number two, Rasta, Mr. Mawere, you taught me to be organized and to put structures. Rasta was looking for me. He wanted to help me. I told him, at this stage, I don't need your help. I'll come and visit you after hospital. Mr. Mawere, by that time I was on the streets. I said, how can I go to see someone? I don't even know my coronavirus results. I don't even know my mental state at this stage. Let me go to hospital first. I went to hospital, Mr. Mawere, for 3 weeks. Then I got cleared. After hospital, I went to see Rasta. I said, Rasta, remember I promised you, I'm here to see you. How are you, my brother? Rasta wanted to give me suits. He gave me a bag of clothes, suits, beautiful things. I said, Rasta, at this stage, I don't need these things. I just wanted to see you and to share with you more about C2C and to help you to set up your account on StreamYard. Rasta never listened to me, Mr. Mawere. I said, Rasta, thank you. I'm on my way. Then I left. I only met him once. He's been supporting me, and I really appreciate that. But for Rasta to come and say Masimba is sick, I can't stop him. Remember, it is freedom of expression. But when I say, can you prove it? Now he's telling me Chivanu. Again, in this book, Chivanu, that's a Zimbabwean term. And there's nothing called a Zimbabwean. So I went on to challenge Seguro Banda, right? To prove it that there's nothing, they've got nothing to do with my choices. It was a choice for me to leave my wife, to go on the streets, because I realized my mistakes. Mr. Mawere, this is my presentation to you, say. Mr. Mawere. Hello? Rasta? Hello? Hello?
Mawera Shamura Shawa.
He's on mute. He's on mute. It's okay. Let's continue.
Yes, hello, Mr. Masimba. I can hear you. How are you?
Good, thanks, Mason. How are you, my brother?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. So what's going on today? Oh, thank
nothing
you.
Much. I've got my two good friends here. They want to put me on a hot seat. I said, I'm available. Let's talk. They want to know more about Bogre Benzi.
Why are you on the hot seat?
Hot seat is basically when they are trying to understand what is going on. So I gave them a chance to ask me questions, then I'll answer them. But they're not asking me questions. They're assuming about me. They're telling me what they think about me.
So what is it they're not clear about you? Because as far as I'm concerned, you make videos every day, and these are visuals, and there's some audios, so you can see and you can hear what's going on. What is it that they're not too sure of?
Thank you for asking. Then I'll make you become the mediator. You can ask them. They're here. You become the mediator.
Well, thank you. I don't really want to be a mediator, but yeah, if you give me the chance, I mean, that's okay. But I think, can they hear me? So I just asked the question, Dekuti, your panels or your friends, your group of friends who are here today, they're not too sure of you. They are not clear about you. But like I said, your life is not vague. It's not mysterious because it's there. It's there. Everyone can see it. And you make videos, and people can hear and can see you. Unless if you're blind and deaf, then that's when you might say, oh, Mr. Mukoma Masiba, can you explain A, B, C, and D? So my question, my simple question to your panel is this: what is it that they're not clear of? And what is it that you're not clear of that you haven't explained?
Go ahead, guys. Hello? Mason, are you there?
I can hear you loud and clear, but I don't know about your panels.
Rasta and Mukoma Andy. Maybe their network. Anyway, go ahead for now. They'll join.
All right. I was hoping to hear their opinions, but yes, I was listening.
GMS only. They are not respect.
Right, your internet is playing up as well, Mukoma Simba. Mukoma Simba, can you hear me? I can say a few things if you want me to say. Makama Masamba. Is anybody at home? Anybody there? Mr. Mawere, Mukoma Simba, are you there? Asibese Matiza.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Mawere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. What time is it over there?
It's what time is it? 4 o'clock, 4:05.
All right. Oh, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Is there anyone who had asked a question of me or from me?
No, just before you drop off, or just after you drop off, I was having a conversation. I'm Mukoma Masimba, and basically he was telling me he's apparently is on the hot seat, and he's got his two friends, and I think it's Rasta and Mufuzwa, whatever his name, I can't remember. Sorry, my brother. And they were asking, they're not clear about Mukoma Masimba's life and what's going on. They're not clear what's really is going on. Then I said, Kuna Mukoma Masimba, this is what I say to him. I think you make videos every day, and your videos are visuals and they've got audios, and you have not been mysterious or vague about anything. Nothing has been enigmatic. Everything has just been there for anybody to see. So my question was to Mukoma Masimba to try to say to his panel of friends, what is it that they're not clear about Mukoma Masimba's life and Mukoma Masimba's reality? So that was my question.
What I hear Rasta to be saying is that they are invited to a show. that is life, that is no direction, no purpose. And the experience is, for them, is oppressive, atrocious, and even more disrespectful of what they stand for. So it's like they're invited to a show and then find themselves not knowing why they are there in the first place. So when we say community, it means we have to balance the person with the rights of others. So you can be Benz Uriwega, but then when you bring other people, you remember we were talking about me, Divine, Chipo, Ru. It starts from the show that Mkume Masimba hosted. Some people would assume that I'm a mentor and I endorse 24/7 what Mkume Masimba may do or may not do. And it's a typical lesson for everybody. Some are guilty by association. Some are guilty by proximity. Some may even think Mason and Mkume Masimba come from the same WhatsApp group. Yet you just meet me. And when we're talking about choice, no, people are entitled. People generally, we are superstitious. And another person called Jesus. Can you hear how upset? Mawere has encouraged nudity. I am not the one who is nude, and I can't encourage somebody to make a choice to be nude. If you are nude, you are nude. If someone takes a picture of you and you are in the picture, then you must speak to that nudity. You can't bring other people into your private affairs. If you choose to live in a closet, nobody will know that you are nude. But if you choose to be nude, the person who is nude must speak to the nudity. And it doesn't help anybody to start celebrating nudity through insulting others. And those are surgical photos. If they're surgical photos, why were they taken and end up outside your control? There are files that are kept by doctors. Those files remain private and confidential. If you got private parts and you don't cover those private parts, then you must be able to explain what you are doing and how that picture can have legs to end up.
With all due respect, Mr. Mawere, I'm really, really sorry to be interrupting you. I just want to interject a few things. I do not want to be associated with any conversation of nudity and the characters that are involved because I do not know the people. I wasn't there when the pictures were taken. I do not know personally any of the characters there. Saka, let's just talk about Mkume Masimba and the question at hand. And
I'm not saying if you don't address it, there are some sick mind, Mason, who would think if you live in America, then Trump is your president. Then he must know all the nude pictures that are displayed in America. And there is a lesson therein. And this person tells ZANU-PF surrogates and how is it your business? It's not my business. Just don't get pictures that you don't want to be shared. Don't say something that you don't want to be repeated. A spoken word cannot be withdrawn. Even Jesus knew that. That don't say stupid things, write stupid things, then you expect to be respected. So we are talking here about other people who are embarrassed by what they author. I author myself. Every day I'm writing my own book. I'm working on my own dash. The photos were stolen in South Africa by ZANU-PF. Mason, can you imagine the absurdity of somebody who thinks ZANU-PF has got legs, has a thinking mind, that it will have interest in nude pictures? This is some crazy. There are many lunatics in cyberspace. But let's go back to
Yes, thank you.
the one lunatic that everyone wants to talk about.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I think what we need to do, or what I need to do at this very moment of time, is this. Let's address a few words. Let's readdress a few words, because I think we are lost in translation here. Because it's almost as if Western culture is meeting Zimbabwean culture here. So because of that, there's a bit of a confusion. So we need to address
another subject, Mason. Before before you continue embarrassing yourself that there's Western culture, Zimbabwean culture, and yet your GP is in the West.
Well, I'm not embarrassing myself. If you just give me a second to make my point, please, sir.
Okay.
Right. This is what I meant. What I meant when I said Western culture meet African culture or Zimbabwean culture is the fact this, and we're still talking about Mukoma Masimba here, because this is what it's all about. Mukoma Masimba, as far as I'm concerned, he was in a hospital, and he was in a mental hospital, and he was a clinically discharged, right, by the experts. The experts who knows good shit, this person has got, according to Zimbabwe, Kopenga. And Kopenga, what is Kopenga anyway? So the doctors in Australia, they said, okay, this guy is fine to live in a community. He can function very well, because if he couldn't, he will be sanctioned and he'll be confined into a building, right? But Mukoma Masimba was discharged. Now he can roam around Melbourne. You can see him; he's all over the place.
Are you now a spokesman for Mukoma Masimba? What?
No. Let me finish my point, Mr. Mawere. Right, and when I finish, then I will tell you I'm finished. Then if anybody can talk. So my point is this.
There is an allegation.
My point is this.
Yeah. Can we leave Mukoma Masimba to answer what people are saying, that they have a genuine grievance with him, that he must have his mind too, and then allow us to talk about the things that we can comment on, not his state of mind or his whether he was discharged or not.
If I may, before I give Mukoma Masimba the platform, my last point was this. That's what Rasta, and he said very eloquently. How are you, my brother? Vangawachiti Mukoma Masimba Vakaroiwa. Mukoma Masimba has been bewitched, and according to Rasta, the demons or the witches or the spirits that have invaded Mukoma Masimba, they are very selective. They are very active during the day, but during the night they go to sleep. And I don't know about you, but I've never heard of any selective witches or selective demons that just come during the day and during the night they go to sleep. I thought it was the other way around, but anyway, that's for another day. So, yes, so this is what I meant when I say Western culture meeting Zimbabwean culture. This is exactly what I meant. But yes, I'll give Mukoma Masimba the platform.
My answer is very simple. I made a choice to do what I'm doing. Simply a choice. To Rasta, he's saying it's witchcraft. That's him, not me. To my other brother, I don't know. My answer is simple, just a choice.
No, Mukoma Masimba, Rasta is saying you invite him to a show that degenerates into things that he doesn't support. So you are interfering with his freedom by inviting him or inducing him to be party to something that he doesn't want to be associated with. In as much as you have your choice, can you leave him to make his choices without having to be brought into the show where there is no purpose to the show except drive your personal ego that you are the boss? You can bring people together, and these people are like animals. They come there, they don't know what is the purpose of them being there. They can't fathom what is it that you find so interesting to humiliate people on that. Then secondly, somebody is on these photos that there were photos that were shared on the platform, and by default, I, the person, because you call me a mentor, then I endorsed it and I encouraged you to do this. So,
thank you, Mr. Moira. I'm going to answer those two questions. Number one, Mr. Moira,
yeah,
before I answer the two questions, I want you to see
Yeah.
what I've learned, that there's nothing called a Zimbabwean, right? Mr. Moira, Rasta was invited to a show. There was consent, and he came for the show. What was the agenda of the show? Rasta, I have a sister. You, Rasta, are a man of peace. Can you help me with mediation here? My other brother, Divine Mafa, I invited him, he's refusing. But this girl, she's ready. So Rasta said, no worries, I'm a man of peace in Baukau. Right? When Rasta was on the show, I'm the one who was hosting. Then Rasta took over. Right? Then Chipo took over. Everyone became active. Then there was confusion. Guess what? I even went out and came back. The show went for about hours. Then Chipo flashed the nudes. The nudes, right? Remember, it's a show. I didn't know what she was going to do. She did what she did. Then Divine said, Simba, those are my nudes. I said, okay, can you come and talk about it? I said, no, I'm not going to come there. Mr. Mawere set me up. I said, what makes you say that? Because you gave a platform. I said, no, giving someone a platform, does it mean that person is coming from Mr. Mawere? Then Rasta is also angry. But I'm like, guys, be responsible. Angry at what? Please direct your anger to the right place. Otherwise, I've got no responsibility on someone coming on a live show and flashing the news. That was not me. That was Chipo. Yes, it was my show. It was planned, but not what she did. The show was simply for mediation. To hear your side, to let your anger come out. I've done my part. Chipo said, thank you, Mkomama Simba. I said, you're welcome, Chipo. Divine came back to me. Simba, what? I said, Divine, please. All I can do for you. Come meet me live for Bogrebens. Look at to get up. Doesn't want. What can I do, Mr. Moe? What have I done wrong there? I'm asking Mr. Moe, what wrong have I done? What wrong have you done? Nothing. What have I done wrong? Nothing. Did Rasta do anything wrong? Nothing. Then Rasta is telling me, I've got cousins, nephews, and nieces. But Rasta, when Chipo flashed the nudes, you remained there. Why did you just left to show your anger? You remained there for another extra 1 hour. After that, now you're crying. My brother, be responsible. And please direct your anger to the right place. I'm not responsible for that. I'm only responsible for the show. Yes, it's my show. You came as a guest. I invited you. I never hijacked you. Thank you.
Yeah, but Mukoma Masimba, do you understand where Rasta's resentment, where Rasta is coming from?
I don't understand. Because it's not making sense to me, Mason. You help me to understand.
No, because here is a gentleman, and Rasta is you know that the Rastafarians are very disciplined. They don't get involved in cheap talk, and they don't involved in dirty talk. So when the Rasta is invited to your show, and all of a sudden the show goes left. Right now, it's all about nudity. Now it's all about this and that, A, B, C, and D. So you can totally understand where it's coming from, that this was not in the script. When Rasta is coming and is saying he's a man of peace, because as far as I know, Rastafarians, they're very peaceful people. He's a man of peace. So when he comes, he never expected any nudity, another man's genitals flash on his face. And you can totally understand where it's coming from, that this is not what he signed for.
My brother Mason, please don't make me a super god. How can I know tomorrow? Yet I'm here today. How can I know what Chipo's gonna do?
Are you there? Is everybody frozen?
It happened.
Rasta, are you there?
Yeah.
Brother Mfuzi, are you there?
I'm here. Hello?
Hello?
Mason,
Hello,
I'm here.
Mkoma Masimba.
Yes.
Mkoma Masimba.
Yep.
After those news were flashed, I started giving a lecture about character assassination not being a good thing on a platform where you're saying building community. So I brought a lot of people to join this sitting. I even had someone who had joined the community. So go ahead.
Yeah, no one is making you a god, Mkoma Masimba. If you extended your apologies to Rasta, that you know what happened was not my intention. What happened was not what I expected. Yeah, Mkoma Masimba, what I'm saying to you,
my brother Mason.
What I'm saying to you, Mkoma Masimba.
Maybe network, I don't know. Can you hear me? Hello?
Right. Okay. Rasta and Mkoma Masimba, before you go back and forth, my last point was this. Have you extended in a sincere apology that you've got a guest who is a Rastafarian, who is disciplined? He is a man of Rastafarian principles that he abides to. No, let me finish. You're talking about communication before. Now you're interrupting me. Let me finish.
I'm quiet, Mason.
So
I'm quiet.
Yeah. So now I can hear you, but let me finish. When I finish, then you can talk. Come on, Masimba, you are breaking up. Right. Mkoma Masimba, are you with us here?
Mason, my phone is on mute, Mason. I'm on
Hello,
mute.
Mkoma Masimba, are you there?
Yes, I'm on mute. Mason,
is anybody
I'm
listening?
Here,
is anybody here?
Hello, Mason, I'm here and I'm on mute. I want you to talk.
Okay, you should tell us that you're listening. Right, okay, right.
You talk.
Okay, I'm just going to talk, then after the Mota would have been. Right, my last point was this, Mkoma Masimba, yeah? You invited a guest who is a Rastafarian who abides to... Oh, there you go, you're talking over me now. All right, okay. Let me repeat my point again, yeah? And this is my last point, and I'll be quiet after this. My point is this: you invited a Rastafarian who abides to certain Rastafarian principles and disciplines, and he is a man of peace. He is trying to control the emotions of what's going on. Now he comes on your platform, on your show. Now all of a sudden, it's all about nudity. It's all about character assassination. It's all about exposing somebody. It's all about the A, B, C, D, and E. Something that Rasta did not sign the contract on. So you can understand how he is feeling. So my thing is, did you send out your sincere apology to Rasta that the show, yes, it went left, but you know what? That was not my intention. And do you understand where Rasta's emotions are coming from? That's it. I'm finished.
Thank you, Mason. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, Mason and Rasta. Number one, I've learned what is an apology.
I've learned to apologize when I do wrong. I'm telling you, at this stage, I never did anything wrong. I remember on the show, I even told Rasta, my network is playing up. Can you please take over the show? He's the one who was now in control. So how can I apologize for something that I never did, Mason? I don't apologize for where I've not done anything wrong.
You provided a platform, mate.
To provide a platform, is it the wrong thing?
Yeah, when your guests start going haywire, you remove them.
She went haywire. If you check the video, who was hosting at that stage? It was Rasta, not me.
It was already haywire, and you're allowing it to get more and more out of control.
No,
You're just adding fuel to the fire and adding paraffin to an already fire that's burning. So I was trying to cool down the fire all along, but I couldn't cool it because I didn't have enough water alone. It was that hot already. I tried to cool down everything, so we act like normal Zimbabweans, not like people that are fighting somewhere in some boots, in some jungles and thing. And I'm telling him, come on, Masimba, can you cool down the vibe? But I was outnumbered. Even when I was complaining now, when everyone had dropped out that this is wrong, I had people insulting me to say, why did you come onto the show, Rasta? Go and start your own show. Why do you interfere with Mkoma Masimba and bring your nonsense of trying to tell us all these conscious things? So I felt embarrassed in a little way, but I was feeling sorry for the people who were being victimized. And I didn't want to be part of people that make people feel hurt and victimized, That's not what I call community building. I call it you bring people together, then you destroy them, you bring
Rasta,
them together.
Can I ask something, Rasta? Rasta, can I ask? So did Mkoma Masimba manage to remove the nudes from the platform?
He hasn't removed them, and the people are still complaining for the nudes to be removed. Because Mkoma Masimba is demanding for the people to come on the show before he removes them. He's holding them hostage through the show. So instead of this being a community thing, it's now for holding people hostage now. Mkoma Masimba's in charge is very dictatorial. Like he's a West dictator, like that guy from you.
And the mentor is endorsing Mkoma Masimba to keep the nudes.
I don't know.
Hello. What do you have to wish to speak for me? Respect yourself, then you get respected. I was born alone.
Mr. Mawere,
I got 2 years, and in between is my mind. I don't carry anyone else's mind, and I don't have the extra donation of time to supervise others. So please be careful the language you use. Community building is not about being a judge of other people's actions. I've learned in my life to be tolerant of others and to allow a person who is angry to be angry, not to be polite when they are hurt by something. That community building is like any relationship. It requires effort by people who are in it. I don't relate to what Rasta is talking about. To say you must have a show for angels, that we are born angels. Life itself is not angelic. I can say, no, I'm saying you can call it philosopher, but tell me the reality that you live in, that will insult somebody to ask a question that is your mentor endorsing it. Who am I to endorse? I'm not God. I never endorse anyone's actions. Each man is accountable for what they choose to do. Each woman is accountable. So I respect choices. The moment I start disrespecting others to make another human being an agent of another, if a fly looks up to meat and goes after meat, it doesn't mean the meat has endorsed the flies to eat.
That's a good comparison. A man is his own island.
Yeah, it doesn't mean people you look up to have to look down upon you.
Exactly.
It means that those who don't associate with the people they call outcasts, and they start to make judgment as to who is sick, who is not sick. You discover the world becomes smaller, and the only one who's not sick is the author of sickness. How many of us pretend to be pseudo doctors, to be pseudo Rastafarians, to be pseudo moralists, yet end up nude ourselves in public, exposing our ignorance about what community building is and is not. And those who provoke us to talk about community building, what should be the limits? Who should be the judge? Who appoints who? Imagine someone calling me from America to say, I've caused two individuals to talk on a live show, which they can do without me, without my consent. I don't have the logo, I don't have the PIN number. Then they say they've used your platform. I would like my platform to be used by those we despise. I don't want a platform that is used by those we look up to, because I found those we look up to end up with the empty vessels who become the moralists of naught, but with no morals to underpin whatever they choose to do. I've seen people coming here to say, Mkoma Masimba is sick. Mawere, you must not associate with him. Yet the people they want me to associate with are empty. They will call Mkoma Masimba a person who is unworthy. He dies while we look at him and condemn living people as if they were born stupid. Yet the stupid ones are those who rise up and start pretending they are judges of other people's actions. Who the hell do you think you are?
Mr. Mawera, I agree with you there. Sorry, I'm the new guy here. There is no one who is holier than holy. And there is no one who can actually determine the mental status of another human being, because by them determining the mental status of another being, probably they are also undermining their own status of their mental being.
You now ask here, and you are asking about mentorship. If a person wants to look up to you, hey, how many Christians have never seen Christ? Should he tell them that everyone who uses my name and calls themselves Christian, they must be holier than him? How many are so foolish to think they own other people's minds and to tell them what to see and what not to see? Why come here to expose that stupidity or foolishness? Prophet Muhammad, I've never seen his face, but there are more than 1 billion believers. They never judge and say a Muslim that kills another Muslim is Prophet Muhammad is the one who caused it. Why can't you learn that faith alone does not require proof?
That's right.
But you want here to come here to say Mawere caused another person to do something and that person is there. What kind of disrespect is that? Huh? If a person is here to answer your question, you call him sick, who the hell are you? Huh? If I'm sick, I'm sick. Let the doctors don't become my doctor when I'm not sick. Don't become my lawyer when I don't need the legal advice. Just be a good lawyer for those who need you. So I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking. I give up my time to give somebody else space so that you can respect him. If he says, I look up to Mawere, perhaps that's what is required to make sense out of this world, where we look at pop stars. People we think belong, wearing suits and ties, so that we think the tie is the person. The suit is the person.
I guess the problem here, Mr. Mawere, is the people have concluded and come to justify Kuti is called guilty by association. And when I say guilty by association, is the fact that.
But you are saying people, you're not talking about yourself, you are here in your own person. Never talk about other people. How do you know what I'm thinking when my brain is hidden between my ears? Yeah, there is no supermarket for brain or thinking. Otherwise, we'll go and into vacation carry. Huh? Whose mind do you think is exposed? Huh? Yeah. Mason, speak
Yes.
about yourself.
Yes.
Not to know me.
Yeah.
What other people. God gave time so that you use it for yourself, not to use it to be a peeping tom of other people's brains.
Well, the thing is, I do not have that rationale or that angle of thought, but I'm just saying, summarizing from what the people are saying. This is my conclusion. But myself,
Let them speak for themselves. The summary is clear that we don't know what life is.
yeah.
And all of us are groping in the darkness, trying to be little Jesuses, little judges, little headmasters of life. Tomorrow you find somebody you don't think is poor. You find him a billionaire. What are you going to say? We have one life to live, guys. Remember, today's idiot is tomorrow's billionaire.
You know that. It's true.
So who are you to
Most of the
judge?
people that have been caused insane are the best people, the inventors of the world. People who looked at Thomas Edison and said he was crazy, today we've got light.
Yeah. Let Mkoma Masimba be himself. The person who has nude pictures must account for it. Why take nude pictures and lose them?
But Mkoma Masimba is not being himself. We might say Mkoma Masimba to be himself.
To say he's not being himself. You are yourself.
Mkoma Masimba has changed.
You were given a PIN number by God. That you are the only one who is yourself. Why do you have to call somebody who's not himself?
So if he's writing a book, is it a fictional story? My question is, if he's himself, is this book a fictional story?
How many people are fake? They give you a face of not fake. How many people made the people?
I passed that question to Masimba before. I want to know your opinion.
Judge? Why don't you just enjoy
I'm not judging. It's a question. I've asked him before whether it's a fictional story or it's a reality.
A community is built. Who are you?
But Mr. Mawere, Ras is simply asking a question. He presented a question and he deserves answers and he is demanding answers. That's all. He is not making a judgment.
Who is he? You must have a right to ask a question. Then you are in a forum that is fair.
I am Masimba's colleague. I am Koma Masimba's colleague whose known Mwale was still normal and is concerned. That's who I am. I've known him when he was normal. I've seen him normal.
I've never met him. I've never met him yet.
I've seen him in person.
I've spent years with someone in the same bed, but I don't claim to know them.
So are these the true colors that Mkoma Masimba is showing from them? Mkoma Masimba I knew. So maybe I should accept that's the new Mkoma Masimba.
Negotiate with him. That's why
because I like to know the people I call my friends.
Allow him to be himself for you to be yourself. The moment you disrespect somebody and become his substitute or surrogate, then you are losing it.
That's what he does. He disrespects people all day.
There's nobody who has given time to watch a movie of others. This is a reality show. So accept that we are different. Let's celebrate our differences, not condemn our differences.
But I guess the question is,
I like what you said.
Can we be consistent?
Yeah, but who is Rasta? Then now he's saying a community. I want to be in a community of virgins or what? A community of what do you want to be? A community of.
So why should madness dominate this community then? Should we say community because Masimba dominates the whole thing at the end of the day as it comes to as a message of this community, as a brand ambassador, as our brand ambassador.
Jesus was killed.
Order, guys, Rasta, order, Mr. Boyer, order. Please.
No, but you're not Jesus, man. Jesus was killed by the people he was trying to save.
It's question. It's
But Masimba is Legion. Masimba is not Jesus. It's more like Legion or the prodigal son.
I'm telling you,
He's
I
more
have
like
no
Judas
time.
Iscariot.
Rasta, I have no time to play in that infantile politics. Infants trying to talk about life as if they are a genius of life. Who are you to judge others? Who are you to tell the rules of a community when we are all sovereign? I
Because
can live a
Masimba
country.
judges everyone every day. So I'm learning from him. He's judging people
No,
all
no,
day, every day.
he's not a saint. Learn from others. Observe. Don't come here to become a moralist that people are calling me. Any person who calls me to squeal on others, that person, I'll never talk to them. That's why I told Divine, please don't make nude pictures and then you want to see them. Don't speak and you don't want to be quoted. Just do things that you know you can do.
But the problem is this platform is called community to community building. It's like how
What is
can
the
you?
community, Mason? Don't misunderstand the community. Even husband and wives,
Miss Mawere, with all due respect, let me finish, then you can talk, please, sir. So basically, my point is this. This platform is called community to community building. Now, if it's community to community building, and Mukoma Masimba is coming here and he's exposing nude pictures of a certain individual, how are you saying you are building a community? Are you not defying the whole premise and the whole logic of your platform, the whole purpose of your platform? So you're contradicting yourself there. How can you build a community at the same time destroying it? Who will build a house at the same time destroying it at the same time? That's not logical.
Listen, do you want to learn what life is? Then you make those foolish comments.
Well, I'm afraid that's not foolish as far as I'm concerned. That's your opinion, Mr. Mawere.
I'll tell you how foolish it is.
That's your opinion, because what can be foolish to you might not be foolish to me.
No,
you understand?
I'm just provoking.
No.
I don't mean you are foolish.
No, but when you say a foolish statement, because your statement, I can easily say to you back that your statement is foolish, because you're making a statement that you do not know where I'm coming from. So you, by saying Mason, your statement is foolish, I can counteract and counterbalance and saying your statement is foolish. Are you with me?
Can I explain what my point of view? Because I would welcome you to say foolish and use vulgar language.
I don't use vulgar language, Mr. Mawere.
That's your choice. I'm just doing it not for you. I'm just doing it for the other people as well. I don't know. The reason I'm saying this is just a simple thing. That you may be a father of a teenager. You think the teenager is at home, and you are the moralist. Then she comes to you and says, Dad, I'm pregnant. I say, but how can you be pregnant? I was always watching after you. Then he said, oh, I learned that human beings by nature are difficult to control. That community building is not about building an address of morality. That it is all of us, we learn from each other. And when we learn from each other, it doesn't mean when you say I'm your mentor, I'm a saint. And I think what Mandela said was very instructive. That I'm a very good sinner. I sin every day. Let others look up to me as if I'm a saint. I am no saint. I'm just a human being of flesh. I'm mortal. I'm fallible. And I just live every day as if I know what I don't know. But the truth of the matter is I don't know what I don't know. So when you look at life, Mason, it's so easy to say, come to Mecca, come to Rome, to the Vatican, and you see the highest of them all, the Pope. And when you look at him, you think he is a saint, yet he's constraining himself. You may find a nun in Rome saying, I'm pregnant. You say, who is the father of the child? Is the Pope. And That what you see in life need not be what it is. Let's turn to the issue of the nude pictures. The person who holds the pictures was there. It was not Mkoma Masimba. She asked me for Mkoma Masimba's number, not anything else. I didn't know what she was going to do. If I had known, I would have predicted and done something and advised accordingly. But I also didn't know. This person I only knew here through divine. I didn't know here. So I couldn't have predicted what I didn't know. But if people express themselves, their diversity is their power. Their diversity is their strength. When we are diverse, we are stronger. But when we are alike, we are weaker. Don't surround yourself by people who say what you want to hear. They destroy you. So if there is something that happens, Mkoma Masimba gave an opportunity for us to deal with this issue. How can friendship turn into this sour thing? That husband and wife, one day they're in love, tomorrow they got knives, they got guns killing each other. Then you say, what's going on? Is it new? No. It's as old as human existence. So let's wake up and understand that even in the same community, there's jealousy, there's gossip, there's innuendos, there's backbiting, even in business. The people you think are your friends are your enemies. So how do we deal with it? We are here to learn. And if you are not willing to learn and you want to build a community out of sand, you want to build a home out of sand, then it will never last. The people who remind us of our humanity are the people who are God-sent, than the people who try to mask it and make us pretend we know everything. We are the moralists, we are the moral icons, yet beneath it is corruption, nepotism, randomness, irrationality, subjectivity, and evil done by people. And the people who have the nude pictures are never made to account for them. Yet the person who gives an opportunity to deal with that problem, how many people you think are your friends when they are not? They are talking bad of you, smiling at you. And then you say, it's okay. Then we want here to be judges of what community is. Guys, wake up. Your time is more valuable than to spend your time judging another person. There is no creator who gave us extra time to be little judges, to listen to all these useless calls. Somebody tells you, can you tell Mkoma Masimba to be a different person? Who am I? It's not a laboratory. He was not born in a laboratory or in a test tube. He is a human being like you. If you got a mental problem, that is his mental problem. It doesn't change who he is. Even Stevie Wonder, he may be blind, but he's not blind. How many people have eyes who can't see? How many people who have legs who can't walk? How many people have ears they can't even hear? Then you come here, pontificate and say it's community building. Mawere is a community builder. Mawere must cause everybody else to behave. Who gives me that time, which is what I ask divine? Give me the time, go to God and ask for an extra installment. So when I die, I can say, where's my change? I wasted my time listening to nonsense. Protecting what? What are you protecting when you authored the whole bullshit? Then you want other people to be called this or that, to be called names because of your own thing. Own up. Grow up. Don't use other people to come here after telling me that I'm tired of Mkoma. I never get tired of a human being. Until the last breath, I will be with you. Because that's what life is. It's about honor. It's not about being smart. It's about loyalty. It's not about being smart. It's about respect. Don't substitute a sick person as if you know what sickness is. The next minute it's you in a wheelchair. And you don't know where it came from. You're just texting, going somewhere. And the next thing, you are crippled. You are in a mental institution. And those who remind us that people with mental problems are human too. What do we say to them? We bullshit. And call me, Mgwama Simba called me to say, you are my mentor. I said, I'm not your mentor. A dog barks because you are moving. If you don't move, there's no need to bark. So when we are talking about life, Mason, I'm not talking about you. I'm not saying you are foolish, but I am also foolish because what divides us is ignorance, not smartness. We are imperfect. Why would I buy something from a shop when I can buy it cheaper? Why would I go to a restaurant if I can buy the same meat and fry it in my pan with no witnesses? But I go to a restaurant because I can meet other people I would never meet in my kitchen. I go for networking. I go for life. Because I never know who is my instrument to get to the next station. I could find that instrument in a restaurant. While others are dreaming. Some go to church, not to pray, but to know where the next contract is. Because the person who adjudicates a tender happens to be a Catholic. I'll become a good Catholic to get the tender, because that's life. Who am I to start pretending to be a Muslim when I know the tender is Christian? Yeah? If you're in Rome, just do what the Romans are doing. Why become black in Australia when you are black in Africa? You guys have traveled so far, never to leave. Imagine your brains are on superstition. Eh? Then why go to Australia, Rasta, to tell us this nonsense?
I think
Then
we're talking in parables.
No, I talk in parables because I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to other people who may understand what you don't understand. Because what you want me to say is what you want to hear. Pay me for that. Then give me a script. I'm just talking myself. So Rasta, give me a break. I'm not your agent. I'm here. Ask the question and I'm talking on my own. I'm not here to please you. But please don't disrespect others to respect yourself. And you become the ears of people telling you so and so. Mawere said this, Mawere brought this, Mawere brought that. Then you say, I can't be part of Mawere. How many people will be divorced if they listened to what their friends are saying about their husbands? How many, if your mother told you what she knew in life, how many of us will be alive? I'll take a gun and shoot somebody. But they've lived, they've endured in silence. And we're saying, speak up, voice up, step forward, step up to the plate.
Right.
And
Can we interject and say, have a rebuttal of all the things you've eloquently said, Ms. Mawere, with all due respect? You listen to me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You, as always, you're very eloquent, very philosophical, and very enlightening with all the things that you're saying. But here is the thing, Mr. Mawere, and I believe Rasta is still here. In this world or in this life, we've got something called free will, and we've got something called choices. And basically, every single person has got a right, a divine right, to do and think whatever fits, whatever they think. Because, as Mr. Mawere did say, there is no authoritative institution. No person can play God while they're still here on earth, obviously. So morality is a very, very big subject, number one. Number two, we are allowed to be ourselves. We are allowed to think and act and have a different opinion. You don't have to go with the general consensus. You do not have to go with the status quo. Mr. Mawere, if I quote and unquote, you said when you're in Rome, do what the Romans do. You see, I disagree with that statement, because when you are in Rome, be yourself. Why do you have to do what the Romans are doing? You are not Roman. Why would you want to be a Roman? You are somebody else from another country. Be yourself because you believe in yourself. Because the worst thing that you can't do is pretend to be somebody who you're not. So in life, I think somebody, not only should you have your own opinion, but you should always be yourself and be consistent with who you are. If people do not like it, tough. I mean, tough. It's tough. There's nothing you can do about it. As long as you are abiding with your own principles. Because what I think and what I see, yes, somebody might be thinking, oh yeah, he's talking bollocks, he's talking whatever. But you know what? This is me. This is what I think. And this is what if I think wrong has been wrong, wrong is wrong, I'm going to call it out. This is wrong. If I think this is right, I'm going to say this is right. That's me. I do not have to conform to the status quo or to the general consensus. So that's my take.
So I hear you mention, but remember that even if you are a grain in sand, you are surrounded by other grains. So the law of gravity says, if you have the majority of you saying we must have a toilet that we flush, then don't go and do your thing on the street. Just go and flush and get a toilet paper and make sure that there's water to flush. But don't say, because I'm born in another civilization where we use leaves to wash ourselves, then you're saying, yes, let me do that. All we are saying is civilization, community building is about compromises, about balancing, not about standing out like a sore thumb and say, I will not change, I'll be myself, I'll be stubborn. If somebody is using knife and fork, just learn to use it and get over with it and eat the same food, whether you use your hands or whether you use knife and fork. Why do you have to be worked up? Imagine you are married to somebody from a different culture. Please do learn. If you are in love, without arguments. The moment you start arguing with love, then you lose the argument. Find each other, not in arguments, because we all come from different backgrounds. That's why when we say, if you're in Rome, do what the Romans do, because we may have a clash of civilization. A guy, I give him a car, and he has no point B to go to. What am I giving? I'm giving you a weapon of mass destruction, because he gets into the car without knowing how to drive it. And what happens? What follows? So you give somebody a something of value. Give someone land who has nothing but himself. What is the land worth? What is the property in the land? We learn about property rights. It's not that the majority are idiots. We learn that where you have no limitation, there's no civilization. That poverty is not the opposite of wealth. You know that, Mason? Have you ever heard that term? That you can't
yes, I have.
A slogan to change someone's status and say, I'll be poor today, then you have a slogan, then tomorrow I'm rich. There are many people who have scars rising up the ladder of opportunity. And they can tell you stories. Just use your ears to listen to them. You call them white, they say, I'm not white. Because when I serve you food, you come and pick and pay. When you pick, you must pay. That's the contract. If you park your car, where it's secluded, where it's whatever, when you leave, you must pay for the parking. You can't say it was in the sun. Why did you get in there?
Sorry, guys.
So when you
go ahead, Rasta. You've been quiet for a long time. Go ahead.
So I was saying, I agree with the philosophies that are going on here, but sometimes we might go too far astray from the subject of the matter, because I was talking something I was genuinely concerned about Mukoma Masimba. And having said that, everything you have mentioned also refers to him. It just does not apply to us critics, because those very same mistakes that people make are the ones that he's making on a daily basis. But it becomes like he's an angel in reality, he's acting demonic and sabotaging the real community building aspect. And I have
But what is-
nothing to learn from. I have nothing to learn from Benzi. I've grown up around street kids. You know, Nopenga. I know the difference between poverty and kupenga. Nekuzvitisa. So don't make a mockery of mapenzi. Kana uchita usikupenga. You're writing a book Benzi. You should be one thing. We should be able to read Wakupenga.
Can I ask you a favor? Can you give me a script of life of what you would want me to do to build a
life
community?
is, no, we script of life. A community is built on values. On values. If values are kupenga, let's just agree to kupenga and we do what the Romans do to
Who decides on what values?
Who decides?
So
The people that call you on board.
How do you negotiate values? Maybe I may join your country and you become my president. You tell me. Then I'll
I'm just a newcomer. I'm a newcomer on the platform. My intentions when I join something are positive. That's what I'm trying to say. So when I saw something contradicting, I should not keep my mouth. I should not keep my mouth shut on something that I think I dislike. I have to mention it, and then I have someone to justify. So can you justify what was the importance of that? Masimba, may he justify? Because if he justifies, maybe I'm wrong. Because I'm just complaining, but I don't know the reason why I'm complaining, because I feel like it's wrong. So I want him to justify now what's the benefit of attacking people and what's the benefit of keeping things like news that someone from your fellow countrymen is requested to be taken. Then you say, no, there is no Zimbabwe, so we have no unity, we have no community, and we have no country.
My point. That's my point exactly.
So we don't have a sense of belonging. We're learning not to have a sense of belonging on this platform. Is that what it is?
No. Can I give you my testimonial with Mkwama Masimba? It may be of interest to you.
Go ahead, sir.
If you allow me. I think about 6 years ago, I received a message on the public message. Someone, it was written by a person called Read Out something. Chauruka, I didn't even know who it is. He was attacking me. And about so many allegations against me. I responded to each and every one of them, point by point. And that was 6 years ago. And I thanked Mkwama Masimba for having the courage to confront me. So he became the wholesaler of what he had heard about me. I encouraged him. I said, if you have anything else, then when we set up a radio station, I said, please come on radio so that you use your voice to attack me. Because you are not the only one who may be saying this. If I silence you, then it means I'm silencing others who may want to hear the same thing. This morning he called me. It was a guy called Terry Mungu, who was saying, Mawere, you must play along. Sanctions must go. I said, what sanctions? So we became a debate on sanctions. I sent that thread to Mkwama Masimba in another group. He called me. He said, what should I do? I said, call him and say, you want to have a conversation with him about sanctions. He said, I gave him the number. He sent the message to him. I don't know whether it's been responded to or not. I said, Mkwama Masimba, when you attack me, you are my friend. But when you smile at me, you are my enemy. And that's all I've learned to understand in life. Today, he can call me his mentor because I never disrespected him, discouraged him from being a vacuum cleaner. All the dirt around me, I said, pick it up and express it, be the voice of it. Because I can talk to you, but I'm talking to the people who have given you that impression. I started a group called Towards Media Excellence to say, where do we get this excellent journalists? Unless we change ourselves and become the Mkwama Masimba who attacks, so that I am on guard. I'm not God, I'm not a saint, I'm a sinner, so that I can give my account in the public domain. So from day one, it's not that I've met him. I've not met him as a person. But I've learned to respect people like that. I've learned to respect dogs that bark. Those that don't, I may not know the next step. Finally, Rasta, you may not understand life the way others may understand. But even the next step I make in life when I walk, I don't even know. So I don't look for somebody to lead me and say I'm a newcomer to life. When I join the bus of life, I just pretend I'm going forward, not backward. I don't use the rear view mirror to go forward. I don't use the reverse gear to go forward. I just get in and assume everybody is a virgin as to what the future holds. I don't know. So I can't sit here and tell you that I know the wait for me, fasten your seatbelts for me to tell you where to go in a community of human beings. Because each day is an experience. Each second is an experience. And I learn every day things I didn't know, faces I didn't know, voices I didn't know, some by accident, some are in my memory bank in my phone. I don't even call them. When I need them, I discover they've been dead for 5 years. Yet I think they are alive because they are in my data bank. I have connections, 30,000 on LinkedIn alone. Some are waiting just to get into my community. But I know that I will never talk to them. But somebody out there may need that contact. That may be a break. So if somebody comes to me and says, I'm Benzi, I want you to connect me to that, I'll give you the connection as long as you believe me in community building. You are building community power. And that's all.
Excellent, excellent. Well said, Mr. Mawere. And I know, Rasta, you are dying to say something, but let me just interject before you have a platform, before you get your chance. Yes, a couple of things that I've picked up on when Mr. Mawere was saying, and I'm very, very grateful that he actually came up front and say, listen, I'm not a demigod. I haven't got all the answers. I haven't got, don't come to me with all your questions and think I got the answers. I'm just a fool as well, you know, going looking for the answers too. So that's very, very good. But I do not think, and there's a big but, I do not think Mukoma Masimba got the memo. He did not get that message because he looks up to you, Mr. Mawere, for all the answers in life. And you are saying to your mentee, I do not have all the answers. I do not have all the answers, which is very good. That's number one. Number two, we are all individual. I am an individual. I walk on my own lane. And what I do is up to me. And what I want to do and what I want to accomplish is up to me. So I do not have to please somebody else, and I do not have to go according to somebody's moral book and moral theory and all of these things and the ethics and all of that. Yes, in Zimbabwe, we've got Ubuntu philosophy. Now, Ubuntu philosophy is all about I am because you are. I think that's the thesis, that's the premise of Ubuntu philosophy. Right. And number three, and this is my final point, is the fact that moving forward, you see, if you're a general in an army and you've got soldiers that are following you, and you say, this is our mission, this is our goal, this is what we're trying to accomplish, this is the enemy is on that side, we are on this side, this is what we're going to do. So if the soldiers start doing something contradictory to the whole purpose or to the mission, we're going to be self-defeating ourselves before the enemy even come to defeat us. Meaning, it's an analogy, but the meaning, the context of the meaning is the fact that we are here for community building. And as a community building, from what I heard, Mukoma Masimba, I quote and unquote, he said, I did not know what this sister called Chipo was going to be doing when Rasta was on the show. I didn't have any idea what she's going to do. So everything went left without my knowledge. Okay, fair enough. We'll let you go on that. But now you do know, since it's a community building, now you know what are we going to do moving forward. And remember, it's all about community building. What are we going to do moving forward? Now you do know what happened. So that's my point there.
So let me just respond to you. Mason, you raised a number of issues about leadership, about people you look up to. You know, I look up to many people who don't even know that I'm looking up to them. And I still keep on watching them, following them, get interested in their lives. Yet they're just living their own lives. Yet to me, I want them to behave this way or that way. And that's my selfishness. That I want to control others and limit their choices. I had one celebrity who says, Mawere, I just want to go to the toilet. I can't even get to the toilet because people want photographs from me. And they want to say, what autographs? I said, what are you going to do? I said, oh, my friend, there's a price to being popular. And then one time we got into a restaurant. We are given a private room. And all the girls were going after the celebrities. So I got a friend. I said, come, you want celebrities? He came. So I said, okay. So he was now at the door getting all the beautiful girls. And he is pretending to know the celebrities. But I just invited. He was like a spectator. But he took the show. So if you look up to somebody, Jesus will look up to him. We've never seen him. I don't want to see Jesus because it's me. I'm Jesus. I'm the one who is walking. Jesus said, if two or more gather in my name, in my question, how can I not be there? How can I be dead? I'm alive because you make me alive. So if we are here for a purpose, we're not here from Kwame Masipa to tell us how to go to heaven, for him to become what? To become a saint. No. We want him to be a sinner so that we learn from his sins. But the moment we want to program others, then there is no community you can build out of what we call robots. We use artificial intelligence to create a buffoon that will just shake hands and smile. Otherwise, Mandela will not be dead. We keep him alive. We give him oxygen. Chairman Mao is in a mausoleum. You think he's alive? Lenin is dead. But there are people who believe Lenin was a saint. Let them do. If you believe in somebody, please don't validate it. Don't come to me and say, Mawere, because I believe in you, you must not eat. Because I don't like people who are fat. Who are you? I'm fat. That's who I am. I'm obese. This is who I am. Why do you need me to be thin? Huh? Why do you need me to marry a pretty woman when I'm safer with an ugly woman? What's your problem? Find your pretty one. Be the best you can be, but make your choices your choices. The moment you come here and you are alive and you are squandering time, instead of saying, what time is it? It's time for us to build communities of people we don't like. The moment we build communities of homogeneous people who think alike, we are dead. When I set up a bank, I said, I don't want to sit on the board. And people said, but it's your bank. I said, no, it's not my bank. It belongs to the clients. What is the good for me to sit in a bank? Everyone says, let's give credit to that because they think he's my friend. Then he doesn't pay. They come to me, your friend has not paid. What am I going to say? Because it's my friend, he must not pay? And the moment I say that, I'm gone. Imagine I'm the Pope in Rome. You come, say, Holy Father, I want to confess. I slept with someone's wife. Then I listen to that. Am I still going to be Pope? No, I'm gone. Because everybody will come to Rome and say, I stole from my neighbor. Pope, can you give me a blessing? It's structure and order. One of us will be a Pope. It doesn't mean he's a God. It's admin. To be a leader is to be admin. Like a WhatsApp group. How many people say, someone called me this morning, said, why did you share this in a WhatsApp group? I said, if you are the president of the WhatsApp group, remove me. Because it exposes how stupid you are. Why would you want to control somebody in a WhatsApp group and say, I'm the only admin? Imagine you're the admin of life, you won't sleep. Imagine you want to control your wife, you can't live here. So never control without the means to control. Never create life without means to live it. The guy who created life has to worry about what we are going to do with these people. That's why today we're still eating. We're still mining gold, diamonds. Otherwise, if it was created by men, Mason, that gold would be in a vault where others don't get access.
Very
That
true.
gold men. So let's learn to
Yeah.
learn and learn,
Yeah.
relearn. Yeah, not
Absolutely.
nonsense that comes up where people
Absolutely.
think that they know better than the creator. The
As
creator
a,
was not a
yeah,
person.
as a matter of fact, if we had gone, let's say, 500 years ago, or even more than that, if you were in ancient classic Greece, and they used to have all these they used to be called philosophical halls, and the likes of Plato, Aristotle, Pythagoras, they used to go there and talk and discuss philosophies like what we're doing. And do you know what they used to do, Mr. Mawore, at the end of all these debates? They used to shake hands and say, "Thank you for teaching me something I didn't know." There was no winners, there was no losers, because in life, you're always learning. So I echo what you just said. And before I go to Rasta, the one last thing, what I just want to say, and I think I just want to agree with Mr. Mawere just said, is the fact that in the Bible, we've got the Gospel of Matthew, Gospel of Mark, Gospel of Luke, and Gospel of John. But in life, you need to have your own gospel. You need to write your own story, because your story has to John whatever. You write your own gospel in life. So yes, Rasta.
Thank you. I'm agreeing with both you, but everything I was saying was just going towards Koma Masimba initially, and I like your opinions, and they, in a way, could be defensive because he feels like he's entitled to everything he does. So that's only where I come in, not trying to be judgmental, but trying to be empathetic. Like, right, as far as some people say there's no such thing as a Zimbabwean, I believe there is such thing as a Zimbabwean. We have different philosophies. No philosophy is wrong or right. It's just different philosophy. That's something I've learned to accept. So I'm not trying to impose my philosophy on anyone, but there's some certain things I just look at in society when they start impacting society negatively or impacting the community in a negative way. It's hard for me to condone that and say, yes, we're different. There's people here that are what you call it, are very problematic in some areas, like we live in even here. And they have a different nature. The other day someone took my plates off my car and went and robbed an ATM machine. Next day police were at my place. I'm just giving you an example. So for me to smile and say, oh, we're different, someone can just steal my plates and go and perform a robbery. Next day I got until, you know what I mean? So it's a similar situation. Like, there's some things that I cannot condone, and that me identifying that this is different from me, because I know there's darkness and light, and darkness and light can come in many different disguises. Like, anyway, as far as I see from the works of my friend Masimba, I don't see any angelic works. That's from my judgment. I know right from wrong, because I started off from wrong. So everything he's doing and is flashing and showing, I've been through that as a kid, so that's nothing new to me in the personality, other than something that I've grown out of, and I would like to see him grow also, because I know he's capable of growing if people around him mold him and tell him the truth, and not just sleep at it, look at it blindly as if we're condoning or encouraging it. Yet we don't encourage it, yet we encourage it at the same time. So there's too much confusion about Bukure Benzi. One, I don't even know if it's a fictional story or reality based, but I've made my conclusions based on what I know. And no one can convince me otherwise. I don't need to be a doctor to know this. Yes, I've worked with people with disability and all. People in disability were actually performing better than Mukoma Mazimba. At least they were consistent. At least they were predictable. So his madness is above the doctors. Anyone want to challenge me that I'm a doctor can come and show me their medical whatever that they studied, and then they can heal Mukoma Masimba. And I bet they can't heal him because he's mad and it's a spiritual thing. Let's just accept it kuti mumwe wedu akupenga. Saswero taura titenderera. Bla Masimba akupenga, boys. Don't go kudzaiwo. Kana masingaziwe chiziviso da kutokudzai. I'm letting you know. If you didn't know before, Bla Masimba is now a lunatic. He's now insane and he needs help. It's not something that's kuma doctors. This is spiritual. So on famba chinonga mabhinu amnozona vavechi asina kana shangu munhu akabva kumba kwakanaka akaenda kuchikoro chakanaka. We see this in Zimbabwe all the time. We've been to Zimbabwe. He can deny himself as a Zimbabwean, but akatuka chirona wanga sitomburikana mama Zimbabwean akaroyewa nezvinhu zvisiri zvekuZimbabwe. Saka kusvikazo zvaacknowledge acharamba chingomhanya mushina tichingofunga kuti tikunyora bhuku tichitaura chirungu chinonakidza chifunga kuti tikuziva zvinhu zvakawanda, but in reality even a blind person can see that Bla Masimba is now mad. Okay, and let me not say mentally ill. He's not sick.
Okay. I think Rasta, in the next life you must be a judge or a god or something. Because I don't believe that I have the same knowledge you have about human beings. You know, I was asked to write a song on poverty a few years ago. Because they were saying inequality is caused by human beings. That there are rich people and poor people. And it is the job of the rich to empower the poor, to mold them so that they become what they are not. So I had the homework of writing the song. And somebody says, Mawere, you can put words into something. So I struggled with poverty. Because I've seen people I think were poor. And some I removed them from my database so that they can never call me. I don't block a person. I just remove. And I remove them so that they can not call me again. Then one day, I'm moving around. I saw a Rolls Royce. There I thought, there is somebody who has arrived. Guess who I saw coming out of there? It was the guy I was trying to avoid. And he had made it so big. And he came rushing to me. He says, Mawere, I just wanted to thank you. But the articles we were writing, every day I will pick them up and I will study them and I compiled everything that you wrote into one book. And whatever you were saying, I learned from it. And luck followed. And I worked hard. I just want to say thank you. You know what I say to him? You must thank yourself. Because it's not easy to be poor today and to be wealthy today on your own terms. Had I advised you, I probably would have condemned you, that you are useless. But all these years, I had removed your number from my memory. And I asked him for his number so that I never lose it again. And I learned to be slow, to be a judge, whether you are sick or not sick. Because I knew that I don't have the capacity to make conclusions about someone's life.
Okay.
Over the car.
Excellent. If I may, it's Rasta, Paneja Mataura, and there's a few things that you said. If I may, and with all due respect, and it's just for me to get clarification, and I don't want to judge you. I don't want to, be condescending or anything like that. I just want to get clarification. You did mention that our brother Mukoma Masimba, he has been bewitched. So my first question is, what is Kuroyiwa, or what is bewitching? Because as far as I know, every single person has got a willpower. And how is it possible for somebody to impose their willpower on somebody against their wishes? That's number one. Number two, Rasta, German, the next question I want to ask you is this. if Mukoma Masimba was clinically discharged, that he has got no chemical imbalances that causes, as in your words, Kupenga, right? And he is not confined to a certain institution. Is it possible that maybe the West Australia or the Western world, they do not understand spirituality? They do not understand the spiritual realm. They heal and make a diagnosis of diseases only on the physical world, but they totally are oblivious to the spiritual world.
Hello?
Yes, you're right. Thank you for saying it. That's exactly what I'll answer that with a yes and a yes, because you as a human being are made up of a mind, body, and spirit. So they study medicine, which is the anatomy of a body of a person, it's just the physical entity, right? So it's about your physical entity. But Mukoma Masimba has got a spirit too, remember, which they don't study about spirituality, right? So you can be spiritually sick, and then it can be manifested as a physical condition. But however, if you go to the doctors, they won't find the disease. So they can't find Masimba's spiritual sickness because they are going about it through what they studied in medicine. However, when I say Masimba is bewitched, it's actually a slang of saying he's got a sickness that won't be detected, but he'll be sick. The doctors are going to say he's okay, but Masimba, we see is not okay. I've seen him in the physical form, and I've seen him before he became sick. I know the day he became sick is when this picture that he posted today, when his face was all stretched out. Those are the weeks Masimba was on Facebook looking depressed and unhappy. So his sickness is something that he is aware of, and he won't deny it. His spiritual sickness is real. And Mukoma Masimba has no control of it. That's the sad part of it. So when I'm saying Agaroyo, I'm not laughing at him or anything. I'm trying to make you guys open your eyes and let's stop joking about this. Masimba he's working more hours than people who work 3 jobs in the diaspora, Masimba is working like he's working for Facebook. You can see how much it's affecting his health. And sometimes I thought we were encouraging it, and I tried to tell him, relax a little bit, my brother. This will catch up with you one day. It's your health, my brother. That's coming from a good place, not from a judgmental place. Because I've ruled out that this brother is not okay, regardless of Bukurebenzi. He's playing smart, where the book is actually there to deceive us into thinking that is a real book, to conceal the madness that's a reality. To conceal the madness.
German. According to the Western medical books, what you've just described, I think it's described as grandeur of delusions or delusions of grandeur. I think something along those lines. Right. Mm-hmm. Now, so is it possible that all the illnesses that you're talking about cannot be detected by our Western advanced machines that only look at the biological? And Isusu ma Zimbabweans, that ma Africans, since we understand the spiritual realm and we understand Kudishi, and as you eloquently and rightly said, all diseases, they originate from the spiritual, and any physical manifestation is just an afterthought. But right? So what can we do? What can we do? Oh, yes, that's one question. And the next question, Dekuti, how is it possible that a sick man who has lost his marbles, as they say, how come you can have an intelligent, cordial, mutual, respectful conversation with this individual whom you've just labeled as an Openga?
Thank you. That's what Legion in the Bible was doing to Christ. Legion actually said, hey, Manawa David, I can give you example of many mad people who have done some very intelligent people. Right? Actually, what I say, Vabenzi rasvika ratichaitika marasikirwa wadu wangobvisa one boat wese apa wabvisa pane rimwe wese apa wabhalansa wanoisa apa munhu akati koyo benzi we wazvizwa sei zvikanzi okay I might be a mad person but I'm not a fool. Waona common sense inogona kunge iri mumunhu haina kufa but masimba cheche akaenda Ndakamutarira so Masimba kuweza kurizina naye ndikaona kuti ndakutaura a different person. Ndakambona munhu achivhuvha before vanhu vakati akupengesa nembanje vandazoona vanhu rova mbanje vasingapenge. So through my life I've seen a lot of things. Handina kufunga zvamasimba ndezvemadrugs because zvembanje amboti achitaita haana kupengeswa nembanje. Masimba akapengeswa nemashoko ake. Ari kurangirwa zvaanogara achiita zvokushaudha vanhu vandikuedza kumutsura inini panguva inoyi. Saka inini zvozoti munazosvika muna taisireva tichingoenderana zvedu trying to play like we all have gained this knowledge now and we've neglected the original knowledge of our values, our cultural values. Uroyi haunamire pauri usina kutadza, mushonga haunamire pasina chironda. He must have been dissing the wrong people for a long time, and now as much as he's playing smart, Masimba is depressed, he's not happy, he's pretending to be happy because ane chinhu chakumu-controla chasina control of. Masimba ukamutorera fona kunanga chatozviuraya mukazamba inonzi attention yamunomupa iyi because he feeds off the attention. Chispirit chacho feeds off the attention. Legion fed off the attention, achizviparamwira achidzura miti aine mazimhasuru. He was smart enough to even prophesy this is Jesus Christ himself without anyone telling him. So their intelligent spirits, they're not dumb. That's how they control Masimba, because they're super intelligent, more than me, more than you. That's why Masimba can confront any of us right now with some intelligence that beyond Mnanopenga. Because Masimba kupenga kwake is more like he's possessed. Zvotanga kandirwa mweya akatotapira nawo nemaitiro anoitawo zvazvangomecha. Because ukaitwa pauri hazvishande pauri because you're already a different personality and you haven't dissed anyone on this platform and you haven't attacked people, you know. So who's got the power to attack you spiritually with a reason? Kutouya kutoti munhu ane mhosva yangu ndakumuranga, so whatever they agree with your ancestors or the spiritual world for them to have vengeance on you because you have done something wrong, and then that's how witchcraft can be manifested spiritually. You go to church, you pray to God. Some people pray to Satan. So they go and have their meetings, very 20, very 100. One. They can overpower you sometimes, and prayer doesn't work because it's a game of numbers. So if Mukoma Masimba is going to make us tesama penzi, then Chibenzi is now the new thing because no one has Tsura. We're just accommodating it.
Okay, thank you. First of all, German, I don't know if you know this. Do you understand what the word witchcraft is? Witchcraft is a craft of witches. And what is a witch? A witch is a wizard. A witch is somebody who is clever, who understands the natural laws. That's what a witch is. So a witchcraft is somebody who knows natural laws. Basically, that's what a witch is. Yeah. Now, so since you have said kuti Mukoma Masimba vakupenga, it's a spiritual problem that needs a spiritual healing, I think. So what is the solution, and what is going forward? Because obviously Mukoma Masimba is going to come and say, you know what, you're talking nonsense, Rasta, you're talking rubbish.
I'm here, Mr. Masimba. I'm here.
I am in control. Oh, you're here, Mukoma Masimba. Oh, thank you. Right.
That's
so,
right, Mukoma Masimba.
Yeah, I will. After just finish, I'll give the platform to Mukoma Masimba to answer all your questions, Rasta. So yes, since you've made a diagnosis, this is a spiritual problem. It's not a biological problem. And would you say, Rasta, before you go to Mukoma Masimba, would you say this diagnosis and this ailment needs spiritual healing?
Yes. Yes, 100%.
And how do we go? How do we go on about it?
That's the big challenge. I even tried to pray for Mukoma Masimba. I tried all that, but the spirit on him is very strong. You know, you can't get possessed by the same spirit. Masimba is a strong spirit himself. I know possess one of my spiritual entities like a Simba. It's only that is not breaking chains. He's breaking morals and breaking people's values and breaking people spiritually and breaking people in the spiritual realms, like he's possessed spiritually and assassinating people's characters. That's assassinating people spiritually. But he's doing spiritual damage. It's not an assignment from Satan, you know, to bring madness into the world and to make Zimbabweans have this role model who gets more views than anyone who's saying anything logical anyway. It's like he's working for this entity. That's why I know live. It's a modern day region. And again, a wisdom in my spirit. Masimba has got more wisdom than any of us here right now from the evil entities of the fallen angels that dwell in him. Because there's nothing exhibited angelic about it. If we're spiritual, we're spiritual. If you're not spiritual, you don't have any right to comment on what I'm saying because you're not a spiritual being. Then you stick to the principles of this world and medicine and philosophies. But if you haven't learned spirituality, then the people that didn't learn spirituality, because you want to be a smart ass, but spiritually you're ignorant about what's really going on with your life because you only use your logic. You only use one entity, which is your mind in the body. Spiritually you are dumb kuti vanhu vanokuita staira dzese vachikuudza kuti iwe uchapenga unenge uchiramba uchidzokorodza zvinhu izvi zvandakaudza palast platform ndo zvaari kuita. How come zvakataurwa zvachaita? It's even more like a prophecy. Munhu ari kunzi akamurova wachina zvakataura ndo zvikushanda pana Masimba more than 2 nharo anosera achiita panosera achikumbira mogo munhu achiloita sebenzi ndo zvakanzi achaita ka. That's what the guy said and he's doing that. So is it conspiracy or is it reality? Is it still Bhuku Rebenzi, or Bhuku Rebenzi is now just a cover up of the reality kuti mwedu asina kumira mushe arida rubetsero with his prayer ngambodzokera kuZimbabwe ambonodya ivhu rekunyika kwake ambonogadziriswa ikoko nyama dzake ameno handizive chivanhu chokumusha kwavo tinosiyana macultures tinosiyana kwatinobva munhu wakatuka uchina pamwe achada kugadziriswa in another way ngaite nharo aramba achita zvaari kuita whatever. If Masimba is normal by the end of the week then Rasta was wrong. If Masimba is still running machine by the end of this week, that book of Benzi is an endless book where he's going to attract and make many people want to kupenga vachitedzera bhuku risingapere because kupenga kwachina kusikupera because kupenga kwachina kwakanzi hakusikuzopera saka akandiprova wrong achivitekera kupenga akationa if I'm wrong kuti Rasta anonyepa ndakataura 4 days ago ndingamboiza anongodzi kachingopengeka ari kutadza nei kana tiri kuti munhu zvese zviri wrong. That means in my story is making more sense to me. Kuti vati anachiremba havasi kuzviona vanoenda varuti ndezvechivanhu iye munhu ane mutupa anobvawo kumusha nechivanhu. So I'm done talking. Masimba kana wandinzwawo kana uri kunyepedzera upenga chimboniprova wrong umboita sober.
No, vakunzwai Rasta, and I think he's going to answer you very well. And I don't want to speak for him. I think he's going to say, just a Rasta, there's a couple of things I just want to say. I don't know if you know in psychology, there's something called Murphy's Law. Basically, Murphy's Law, Kuti, what you think might, what you are expecting to happen actually happen. You know, the Murphy's Law. Yeah. So will just happen, right? And just go research it after Tapeza this broadcast. And yeah, Sakachi, sometimes, you know, even Makans go to Sekuro Banda, vakata, but you know what? Sometimes what you think will happen eventually just happen because I don't know, because of the mechanisms and the neurological connections of the brains. I do not know because I'm not a brain scientist. Yes.
No, it makes sense what you're saying. But I got to defeat brain Masimba, but I defeated him. But I got to defeat brain because I
exactly.
Wow. So it's delusional. He's saying he won a battle that he actually lost in reality.
Well, me and you, we are
through his actions.
Yeah,
no, through his actions, Masimba keeps on bragging, saying, I defeated him, I'm in charge. But in reality, he's not in charge. So you get delusional to thinking you're in charge of a situation which is in charge of you. Bhuku Rebenzi is in charge of Masimba, not Masimba is writing the book.
Okay, I think we've said enough, German. So let's give the platform to Mukoma Masimba.
Thank you, Mukoma Masimba. Welcome, Mukoma Masimba. I'm sorry I had to vent a lot of things, Mukoma Masimba. I want to hear what you have to say in your defense. Because you need to convince kuti iwe kangobvuma kuti wakurwara nepfungwa unogona kubetsereka. The more yaoneta nharo navanodawedza kukubetsera ndepazvikuramba kushanda. Mfesi wangu, we got love for you but wakupenga. If you have anything to say in that regard, now you can go ahead and defend yourself. Mukoma Masimba.
Sakapana Zvavanzwa, he was not even here. Blah Masimba. Mukoma Masimba, are you there? Please come and defend yourself and explain yourself.
Rinotiza demon rachona zimengwa kana pachipisa ndikuchara shuwa panombota ma dropouts ka if you get to confrontational
ndakakudzwa kuchibutaura na bla samaita vichitanze rinotiza kana rakuconfront.
Like right now we seem like we're ganging on him but we're just discussing. Already power of numbers. Now that's a game of numbers. Before yoda wangori one ka aikudefeata manje aibva adzoka achikuti I'm in charge, but panapa tiringorizina nezvinhu zviri zvaari kuzati ndezvechokwadi. Zvechokwadi haadi manje anobva atiza.
Hello guys, I have to go.
Mr. Mawere, thank you very much. Thank you
very much.
But if I switch off, then you are all dead.
That's okay. Since Blama Simba is already gone.
Mukoma Masiba is not here, but thank you for having me. Thank you, German.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Respect.
I think let's keep on just appreciating that community building is about human beings coming together, diverse, and sometimes contradictory. But the moment you attempt to judge others, there can't be a community. It has to be led by somebody who has lived life before others. The one who points a finger at others must only remember that they are also pointing at themselves. There is no one who is perfect. There is no one who needs to be perfect. But the moment I stay out of my lane and start to judge who is sane, who is insane, whose behavior is right, whose behavior is not, because even to come on this show, it takes a lot of insanity for you to come here. And if a person says, let's talk Rasta, I came to your house once after all this. I went to hospital, I was admitted, but they released me. And still I don't hear that, because my voice is louder than any other voice. Then it means we have lost the promise of what life is. All I can do is, guys, let's just be human. Where we are needed, a person who asks for help, fine. Person who is not thirsty, I don't have to feed him with water because I think he needs water. No, even a donkey, I can take it to the river, but I can't make it drink. There has to be a choice of the donkey to decide to drink. The moment I choose, I take my choices, my preferences to be the only preferences that should be available. I'm already a communist. I'm already a socialist. Yet life is about the individual choosing to be himself. And I salute you. But if you know I'm there, please behave like a dog. It will be a cheerleader, but not to stop you from going where you need to go or to change the destination of where you started the journey to. How many people know where to go? Only in relation to others. And they pretend to be perfect. They pretend to be spiritual. Yet when it comes to Corona, no, but none of these people surface. They're all missing in action when there's a pandemic of untold proportions. And we are fighting an invisible enemy. Yet those who pretend to be spiritual, they pretend to live in the world of the invisible. Are we people of little faith not to know that wisdom is nowhere where we think it is? That the best prophet can also be the best conman. Yet we don't know. So, Mason, thank you. Let's break this into lessons, because there are people who are blaming me for choices made by other people. Imagine my own children, relatives, they hear this about some lunatic saying I'm gay. What does it say about those people who are really gay? Some of them don't have a choice. But what does it say for something to visit the mind and then create reality, because it is hateful, it is meant to be hateful. And we sit here and say, no, this was caused by nude pictures. Really? Is that the future we want for us in Africa? Where we point fingers to others, yet we make daily choices that point to us as fools. Sit here for all these hours talking about a person whose network is not even complete. 2 hours, 25 minutes. Doing what? Some become experts on Ngoma, but the person, not the lessons therein. Some become advisors that the person is to be careful of him. He's mad. He becomes mad. I have a friend. We went to Libya some years back. We come back. I meet him at Pararenya Hospital. I said, what are you doing here? He says, I've come for examination. Examination for what? He says, they're saying I am mentally sick. So I'm not fit to be at work. So I've been told to go home to attend to this sickness. So he asked me, Mawere, do you think I'm sick? I said, I wouldn't know whether you're sick or not. But who are telling you? He says, my colleagues. What happened? He says, Mawere, when we went to Libya, on our way back, we passed through London. They charged government money, and the minister responsible at the time denied that they had ever been to London. And this guy was a mental case because he was lying about this chowing of the money. He's the one who ate the money. So the minister was powerful. He was relieved of his duties. And there he was, trying to impress upon me that I said, no, I can give a testimony that the money was shouted, we stayed in this hospital. Says, I've given all that, but nobody believes me. I said, oh, shit. That was this week. The next week, he committed suicide. He was gone. He went into his Mercedes-Benz, closed the garage, and was driving the car to death. And I learned something, that actually the people who are closest to you can create your mental illness by arguing with you that you can't be okay. So he had been to many tests, which he showed me, different specialists on mental health, saying he's okay. And he says, Mawere, do you believe all these people are wrong? And I said, that's one lesson of life. I'll never judge anybody because I'm just too small to know what I don't know. I will respect everybody that I meet, whether you're mental or not. Who am I to be the judge? I'm just a human being of flesh. I couldn't tell whether he was sick or when he was going to commit suicide. But I left that place reflecting on my own. What could lead a human being to call another human being sick, mentally sick, and be an expert just by looking at the person, just by trying to protect whatever they got, so that we remember the person? And the family, the wife then came and confirmed that they were so happy to see me, that and just breathing, just downloading that information, to them it was therapeutic, because I could say, I don't see it, but who am I? I'm just a person of flesh with no extra wisdom about life, and it's just untrodden. We live every step we make, even in the community. We believe that there are others who are meant to lead, who have the vision of where things are going. But who gives me that power to imagine what has not happened and then say, this is reality, this is fiction? How many of us stay in life pretending to be experts about life that was created by the Creator so that it becomes a mystery, enigma? So when I left where I was, now somebody was listening. He says, Mawere, there's a story of people who were given 3 signs by God. The 4th sign, they died. They went to heaven. He says, God, why didn't you help us see the dangers that we were in and preserve our life? He said, I tried to tell you. The first one, you didn't see me. The second one, you didn't see me. The third, you didn't see me, but I gave you time to see the signs. What needs to change? Let us change ourselves. Let us be in these communities where we can talk, disagree without being disagreeable, without calling each other names, without each other calling each other say insane or insane. But just say, what can we do together? How can we get the message of hope expressed eloquently so that those who are hopeless can find hope in the things that we say? So that those who are dejected can find family where there's no family. Can't just wake up and talk and say, I just want to talk to you. And the moment I did that to one, the next day he was dead. And I only wished I'd spoken to him, but I couldn't because it was too late. How many of us don't want to listen? So when Mkwama Simba calls me at odd hours, how did I do? I tell him, you are not doing well because you are not organized, you are not structured, you are not a community builder. Don't say Mawere is my mentor. Say I've learned something to build communities. Just do it. The results will show. You don't have to slogan here and use my name, abuse my name in the process, because you are on your own. I don't know what you are thinking, but you are misleading people into believing that I actually know. And I am accountable, I am responsible when I am not. I can't be responsible for what is in your mind. Do what pleases you, but don't invoke my name as if I know what you are thinking and what time it is. I have no knowledge. But tomorrow, some people, some lunatics, will hold me responsible for the choices you make. And you are thinking you are making your own choices. I've learned it, Mawere, that we are sovereign. But human beings, we are freakle, we are just so perishable, so unworthy of trust. And that a person can believe what you tell them, what you sell to them, even if you sell a dummy. That's why we have people who call themselves politicians. They can sell even cash and carry. You can't carry anything, but they'll take your cash and still carry your hopes. So we have discussed that. And I've said, can you get to Rasta? I said, Rasta, these are the locals, these are this. But it looks like Rasta himself listens to his own voice. He has no need to listen to me to say the only lasting thing to show Mkwama Simba is let us be the order that is missing. If you are going to have a show, you believe in superstition, fine, go ahead. Travel so far to Australia to believe it. Let's see how far we go. Do we want the future of superstition? The future of Nganga? Fine, let's do it. So I can't tell you how far to travel to get common sense. But all I know is that you don't have to go to England to be a better superstitious person when you can be a superstitious person in your own village. Just the fact that you are here, you are there, that's hope in motion. That's promise in motion. It means you have escaped what it is. So finally, one guy came to me. I met him in the US. Yesterday, he met me at a shopping mall. He says, Mkoma, come home, Kumbakwanaka. So I asked him a simple question. When I left Zimbabwe, did you advise me? He says, no, but I know it's good. Let bygones be bygones. And I said, why do you think that I'm here because I'm angry at somebody? He says, I know what they did to you is unfair, it's unjust, it's this. I said, what did they do to me when you can still talk to me? Why don't you talk about yourself? Please, never again shall you advise me of where I should be, unless you give me keys to the house that you bought for me. How stupid can you be? He says, but SMM is done, let's do things, let's do new things. I said, if you do new things on the back of old rubbish, you are condemning everybody. What for? Because you have gone to America to be this kind of small-mindedness. And he left me saying, thanks, Nkoma, I have homework to do. And the same thing was done by Professor Mutambara. He says, President, oh, these are our people living in the diaspora, like Wanamawere. They must come home to help the development of the country. So President Mugabe says, Yejo Kamawere. President, this man, I don't know him. He's asking me to go back. But he's not telling me that when I left, he was part of the decision. But today he is here in front of you, pontificating that I must go. Home because he can't make for himself. And there was a heated discussion on patriotism, nationalism, trying to convince me that is the best thing to do for you to be in Zimbabwe. I said, when I left, I never left because of you. Too, you were never there. I said, Your Excellency, do you know when I left Zimbabwe? How I left Zimbabwe? I left on a plane through the same airport, voluntary, and going where I wanted to go, where my spirit wanted to be. I had choices, I had a job, but I resigned myself and said, no, I want to be somewhere where I'm not. And I acted on it. I applied for jobs, whatever I could do to get out of there. But you don't respect me to then want to speak on my behalf. Who the hell are you guys trying to make choices for me? All the people who went in the diaspora, they didn't go because of you. Some of them, yes. But some of them pretend they left because of Mugabe. And he doesn't even know they left because of him. I said, if you knew how many people are crying because of you, and we are lumped in the same group, because anyone who is outside, Sabena will say they suffer from some mental chronic disease, and they are what become a pseudo expert on my choices. Please, just respect me. If I make wrong choices, fine. I live with the consequences myself. But don't substitute me. Don't make me smarter. Don't tell me there's an accident in front. When in your front there's an accident yourself. We live just one life. It doesn't have dress rehearsals. It's not acting. It's reality. So let's live reality in the knowledge that we don't know what we don't know. And I don't know what I don't know. And I'm happy with that. I'm at peace with that. I celebrate everyone I meet. Some I meet them but don't remember them. Those I remember, they were meant to be remembered. And I just become an instrument of remembering, so that together we can convert these loose connections, futile discussions, experts who are pseudo, doctors who have no patience, but they want to prescribe medicine to me. What for? Let me die in peace. Don't stop my death as if you control life. So that's all I can say, guys. That's why we created C2C, because I don't know. But what I do know is that this conversation will last forever, because I am the one who's speaking it. Even when I'm gone in flesh, the voice will be there. This is not Jesus' time when there were no recorders. Here we have recorders. And we're saying, let's package this so that future generations may learn not to judge others. Whatever it is, even my eyes were not created to see things that I must not see. I only see a small percentage of what is to be seen. Let me be happy with the little that I know, that I have seen, and talk about only those. Somebody was writing something. I said, just read the thread. He tells me about another trajectory, another. I said, no, please just stick to the text. You want to be a mentee. I'm just saying, give the facts as you have seen them. He's trying to go all over the show, trying to please me. I said, I can't mentor a person who knows, who imagines reality. I can't. And I will not do it. Which is what I say to Mkoa Masimba. Don't call me a mentor and you are not prepared to learn. Life is like going up a mountain, rough side of the mountain. Each step you make, take a breath and keep going. But you can't go where you don't know. If you don't know where you're going, any road takes you there, and you discover you are where you started. So that's all I told him. I said, Mkoa Masimba, be alive to what people are saying. They're not stupid. They're trying to build a community of balance, of values, of norms, of principles. Live up to that societal promise. Don't abuse it in the name of some Benzi. We are all Mapenzi, but we have to be structured so that others may be inspired. We have to minimize our animalistic nature so that others may want to live as human beings. But if we are portraying ourselves to be animals, then who is safe? We are all not safe. So that's all I can say, guys. Life is so simple but complex. Let's not make it more complex than it is. Let us not test it, because we're just human beings. We don't have to play the game that somebody else has already played by giving us life so that we use it to make a difference to the problems that we all encounter. What shall we do? I was talking to somebody right now. We have a payment platform called nmari.com. Somebody says, how does it work? And this is an Indian guy. He didn't believe me that was developed by a Zimbabwean, a black man. He thought this man was somebody else who pretends to take credit for things he doesn't know. So the guy came, and he was able to stand up on his feet and to show that he did it, and he earned all the credentials to be a developer who solves problems. And this Indian guy called me today and said, Mawere, I am committed to using this everywhere where I'm involved. I'm already the ambassador for this. But you talk to Zimbabweans, superstition. Some of them have traveled so far not to trust anybody. They would rather pay more money to Mukuru, World Remit, Western Union, whoever. But they don't want to talk about things that change, that leaves money in the wallet, that gives them hope, just because they say Mawere is this, Mawere is that. Yet the people who I don't know have faith that Mawere, what he says, is of value to them, and it's worth following. Thank you.